Perfect check mark. You want an easy to understand, presentation style teaching script on the topic, trigraphs in the English language, around 3,500 words. Below is a full, detailed teaching plus presentation script, written in a natural tone, clear, simple, and classroom friendly. You can read it aloud, submit it as a report, or use it for PowerPoint narration. Studio microphone teaching presentation script, trigraphs in the English language. Introduction. Good morning everyone. Today, we are going to learn about a very interesting and important topic in English spelling and pronunciation, trigraphs. You may already know about letters, sounds, and even digraphs, combinations of two letters that make one sound, like shish and ship or ch and chair. But what happens when three letters come together to make just one sound? That's what we call a trigraph. By the end of this lesson, you'll clearly understand what a trigraph is, how it is different from a digraph, some common examples of trigraphs, how they help us with spelling and pronunciation, and why trigraphs are so important in learning English phonics. So, let's begin our journey into the world of trigraphs. 1. Understanding the basics. What is a trigraph? Let's start with a simple definition. A trigraph is a group of three letters that come together to make one single sound. Let's say that again slowly. A trigraph equals three letters right pointing arrow one sound. This means, although there are three letters written, we only hear one sound when we say the word. For example, the letters tch in watch make just one sound per chain. The letters igh in light make the long I sound ah. So even though there are three letters, they act like one team, producing only one single sound. 2. How is a trigraph different from a digraph? Before learning trigraphs deeply, we need to understand how they differ from digraphs. A digraph has two letters that make one sound. Example, shish and ship, ch and chair, th and thank. A trigraph has three letters that make one sound. Example, tch in watch, igh in night, dge in bridge. Let's make a simple comparison table. Type number of letters example word sound digraph 2 ship, trigraph 3 watch. So, the difference lies only in how many letters are used to make that single sound. In short, digraph equals 2 letters, 1 sound. Trigraph equals 3 letters, 1 sound. 3. Why do we need trigraphs? English spelling can sometimes be confusing. That's because English has 26 letters but 44 sounds. So, to represent all these sounds, English uses letter combinations, like digraphs and trigraphs. Trigraphs help us represent sounds that cannot be written with just one or two letters. Spell words correctly, pronounce words accurately, understand patterns in English spelling. In short, trigraphs make reading and spelling easier once you learn their patterns. 4. Common trigraphs in English. Now let's look at some of the most common trigraphs in English. We'll also look at examples and their sounds. A. Tch right pointing arrow per chain. The trigraph, tch, represents the per chain sound, the same sound you hear in chair. Examples, match, watch, catch, fetch, patch. We use tch, usually after a short vowel sound, like in catch or fetch. After a long vowel or consonant, we usually just use ch, like in beach or lunch. B. Dge right pointing arrow j. The trigraph, dge, makes the j sound. Examples, bridge, edge, badge, fudge, hedge. Just like tch, we often use dge after a short vowel sound. For example, badge right pointing arrow short, a, sound, so we use dge. C. Igh right pointing arrow ah. The trigraph, igh, represents the long I sound. Examples, light, night, fight, high, bright. Whenever you see igh, you can usually pronounce it as the long I sound. This trigraph is very common in English words. D. Ear right pointing arrow, or e. The trigraph, ear, can make two different sounds depending on the word. Examples, hear right pointing arrow, sound. Deer right pointing arrow, sound. Bear right pointing arrow, eat sound. Pear right pointing arrow, eat sound. So, ear can sound like ear or air, depending on the context. E. Air right pointing arrow e. The trigraph, air, makes the eat sound. Examples, hair, chair, fair, stairs, pear. The sound is similar to the word air. So when you say hair, it sounds like h air. F. Your right pointing arrow J or the trigraph, your, often appears at the end of words and makes a J or sound. Examples: pure right pointing arrow PJ, cure right pointing arrow KJ, sure right pointing arrow, picture right pointing arrow T as part of the ending ture. Sometimes, the pronunciation changes slightly depending on the word, but the spelling pattern stays the same. G, AWR or OWR right pointing arrow. These trigraphs make the same, or, sound. Examples: saw, jaw right pointing arrow, from ah. Coward, shower right pointing arrow ah from OWR. 5. How to recognize trigraphs in words. When learning to read or spell English words, it's important to look for letter patterns. Here are some tips to spot trigraphs. Look for 3-letter clusters that make a single sound. For example, in light, IGH makes only one sound. Say the word slowly and listen to how many sounds you hear. If 3 letters make one sound, it's a trigraph. Notice the position in the word. Many trigraphs come at the end or middle of words, like catch, bridge, light. Compare with other patterns. For example, CH and TCH both make the per chain sound, but TCH is used after a short vowel. 6. Trigraphs in phonics learning. Phonics is the method of teaching reading by connecting sounds phonemes with letters graphemes. In phonics lessons, children learn the sounds of individual letters, then digraphs, and finally, trigraphs, as advanced sound combinations. Let's see how trigraphs fit into the phonics hierarchy. Level example description 1. Single letter S, B, C. Each letter makes its own sound 2. Digraphs CH, TH 2 letters, 1 sound 3. Trigraphs TCH, IGH, DGE 3 letters, 1 sound. Teaching trigraphs helps children decode longer words easily, build spelling confidence, understand English pronunciation patterns. 7. Some rare or less common trigraphs. Besides the common ones, there are a few rare trigraphs that appear in fewer words. Examples include O right pointing arrow O sound, as in beautiful, bureau. Ow right pointing arrow, sound, as in cot, daughter. IGH right pointing arrow ah, as we already saw. EIG right pointing arrow eat sound, as in ate, wait. These may not follow the same simple phonics rules, but recognizing them helps in reading and pronunciation. 8. How to teach or learn trigraphs. If you are a teacher or student, here are some effective methods to learn and remember trigraphs. A. Visual learning. Write trigraphs on flashcards and show pictures of words that contain them. Example: card, TCH, right pointing arrow picture, watch, match. B. Phonics games. Play matching or sound games where students find words with the same trigraph sound. C. Repetition and practice. Use trigraph words in daily reading and writing activities. D. Sound sorting. Group words by the trigraph they contain, light, night, high IGH words watch, match, catch TCH words. E. Spelling challenges. Give fun spelling quizzes to reinforce which trigraph fits in which type of word. 9. Common mistakes learners make. When learning trigraphs, some common confusions happen. Mixing trigraphs and digraphs. Example: writing CH instead of TCH after a short vowel. Mispronouncing trigraphs. Example: saying LIGHT instead of LIT. Remember, IGH makes one sound. Spelling errors due to sound similarity. Example: bridge instead of bridge. To avoid these, remember the sound rules and patterns that apply to each trigraph. 10. Importance of trigraphs in English. Trigraphs are not just random letter groups, they play a big role in English spelling and pronunciation. They help represent sounds that single letters can't, make reading smoother and faster, improve spelling accuracy, help learners recognize word families and spelling patterns. Without trigraphs, English words would be much harder to spell or read correctly. 11. Fun fact: trigraphs in other languages. Trigraphs aren't only found in English. Other languages like German, French, and Welsh also use trigraphs. For example, in French, O right pointing arrow makes the O sound bow. In Welsh, DDR or LLW are trigraphs used often. So, trigraphs are part of how many languages represent sounds using letters. 12. Review the most important trigraphs. Let's quickly recap what we've learned about the main trigraphs. Trigraph sound example word stack, catch, watch, match DGE, bridge, edge, badge, light, night, higher, or eat here, dear, bearer, eat chair, fair, hair, j, or sure, pure, cure. Each trigraph helps form a specific sound pattern that can appear in many English words. 13. Trigraph practice activity for class use. You can try a short classroom activity to reinforce learning. Activity. Write 10 words on the board. Ask students to identify the trigraph in each word. Pronounce the word correctly. Write another word that uses the same trigraph. Example. Word. Catch, right pointing arrow, trigraph. TCH, right pointing arrow, another word. Watch. 14. Trigraphs and reading skills. Recognizing trigraphs improves reading fluency. When a learner sees IGH, they no longer need to sound out every letter, they instantly know it's the ah sound. This skill helps with faster reading, better pronunciation, and understanding word families like night, light, bright. 15. Trigraphs and spelling patterns. In English, certain trigraphs follow specific spelling rules. Example. After a short vowel, use TCH, catch, fetch, match. After a long vowel or consonant, use CH, peach, coach, lunch. After a short vowel, use DGE, badge, edge, bridge. These patterns help avoid confusion and improve spelling accuracy. 16. Challenges in English trigraphs. English spelling comes from many languages: Latin, Greek, French, and German. That's why trigraphs sometimes behave differently or sound different in various words. For example, ear, in hear and bear sound different. Ewer, in sure and picture sound different. So, it's always good to learn word families and examples rather than strict rules. 17. Why learning trigraphs early helps. When students learn trigraphs early, they become more confident readers. They decode new words faster. Their spelling improves naturally. They can understand pronunciation better when speaking English. It builds a strong foundation for phonics, spelling, and communication skills. 18. Conclusion. Let's summarize everything we've learned today. A trigraph is a combination of 3 letters that together make one sound. We studied common trigraphs like TCH, DGE, IGH, ear, air, and ewer. We saw how they appear in many English words and how learning them makes reading and spelling much easier. Trigraphs help bridge the gap between letters and sounds, making English more logical and predictable once you understand the patterns. So, the next time you read a word like light, watch, or bridge, you'll instantly recognize the trigraph inside it, and you'll know exactly how to pronounce and spell it correctly. Remember, 3 letters, 1 sound, that's the power of a trigraph.